Hey Fragrance family, welcome to today's video, Proverbs 27:9 fragrances. And today we're doing kind of a top 10 list. Actually, it's a top 5 pair of fragrance. We're doing one for the daytime, one for the nighttime. And a lot of these you could flip-flop them probably if you wanted to, but when I selected these 10 fragrances, they all kind of paired up kind of uniformly. And so go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe and the notifications bell. If you would, help me grow one of the smallest fragrance channels on YouTube. And so these are the top 5 or top 10 fragrances. If you're wintering somewhere in hot weather, we're about to head to Florida for a couple of about 10 days or so. And these are the 10 fragrances I'm going to be taking. So, all right, at the number 10 spot, we're going to go with a Tommy Bahama fragrance. And this is Martinique. And Martinique is my favorite of the Set Sail line. And I'm assuming it's in the Set Sail line since the bottle looks the same as all the others. But it is just a sea salty, kind of a blue fragrance with maybe a hint. There's a lot of marine accords. There's salt accords in it. It's very fresh. But honestly, I think you could flip-flop it if you wanted to. This and you could wear at night. And the same goes for the next fragrance, and that is John Varvatos Artisan Blue. And again, if you wanted to flip these around and wear blue during the day and Martinique at night, I think you could. But they're very similar. They're very similar, where Martinique is a little more salty. Artisan Blue is probably a little more watery, aquatic. Some of the notes in Artisan Blue, you've got top notes of bergamot, lavender, basil, bitter orange. You've got geranium and iris, orange blossom in the heart, clary sage, cedar, patchouli, pine resin, pistachio, wood in the base. Both of these are very, very similar to me. And so that, to me, that makes Martinique a great grab. If you're wanting to save money, Artisan Blue is not that expensive, but I mean, you can pick up Martinique at most discounters, stores like Burlington, places like that, for probably 10 bucks. 20 bucks. All right, next pairing here in the 4 spot, we're going to start with Perry Ellis 360. I chose this for the daytime version, the daytime fragrance, but again, you could flip-flop both of these if you wanted to, because they're very similar. And when you're in hot weather, they'll both work day or night. Perry Ellis 360, you know it if you know Acqua di Gio, because this is essentially a clone of Acqua di Gio. There's some slight, subtle differences. Mainly, though, it's just in, I would say, in quality. They smell very much the same as Acqua di Gio, but the quality in the Perry Ellis is not as high. But again, you can pick that up. You can pick up a smaller bottle of that for 15 bucks at TJ Maxx. So to pair with it, I'm going with L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme Sport. Again, I believe, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I believe that Acqua di Gio, even though it is the #1 selling men's fragrance of all time, I believe they stole kind of their DNA, or at least patterned it after the L'Eau d'Issey Pour Homme DNA, which, if you've seen it, again, videos on my thoughts on L'Eau d'Issey, to me it is a little too feminine for me to wear. And I know that word rubs some of the viewers raw, but guys, masculinity and femininity are still a thing. I'm not saying that it is only can be worn by women. L'Eau d'Issey mainly is worn by men, but between it being a masculine scent profile and a feminine scent profile, to me, again, it's just a very feminine scent profile. It's very heavy on florals. It's very light. The citruses are softer. But Sport is a much more masculine take on that same profile. Again, I love the smell of the regular L'Eau d'Issey. It's too soft, it's too floral, so it's too feminine for my taste. And again, I know modern masculinity is a little different than classical masculinity, but for the purposes of this particular YouTube channel, we're going to kind of go with the classic masculinity. And I know that doesn't go all the way back to the foundation of fragrance, and I understand that in the 1800s, men wore more floral fragrances. I'm talking about the last 50 to 100 years since fougères were invented, and that sense. Okay? All right. Thank you. All right. In the 3 spot, we're going to go with the daytime offering of Bulgari Man Wood Neroli. Bulgari Man Wood Neroli is a great neroli fragrance. Again, this is one that does feature florals, but it has a more masculine base to it. And so I can wear this fragrance, although this is probably one of the softest fragrances that I can wear and, feel comfortable. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Everybody's scent, olfactory experience is different. Just because mine does not match yours, I'm not saying that you're feminine if you wear this. I'm saying it's just, it is one of the more softer fragrances that I like to wear, but it is very nice. It is very classy, but it's not as classy as the next one that we'll be putting in the 3 spot. And so this matches Wood Neroli, but this would be the evening offering, and it is Terre de Hermès Eau de Toilette. Citrus, woody fragrance. Top note is that orange accord, it's orange and grapefruit. It's got pepper in the mid, it's spicy. It's got that awesome vetiver dry down with cedar, patchouli, and benzoin. If you've ever smelled this, you know how great this is. And so this is the evening offering for the number 3 spot. All right. In the number 2 spot, the daytime offering, we're going to go with from the house of Sean John, and this is 3 a.m. These two fragrances in the number 2 spot, to me, are very similar, and to me, this is the best pairing of one is very fresh and good for the daytime, and the other one is much better for the evening. 3 a.m. is top notes: bergamot, mandarin orange, cardamom. You got fig leaf, orange blossom, and geranium. Tonic water and leather. But this, to me, although it's not mentioned as a note, there is a little bit of a there's a little booziness to it. That tonic water, it smells like some type of mixed drink. Again, I'm not a drinker, so I don't know what all they're called, but it's one with alcohol and lime and things of that nature. I don't know if that's a margarita or what it is, but this one, and I think when I look at the notes on this, it'll probably tell me. This is Guerlain Homme, and this is L'Eau Boissée. And these two fragrances pair together really well, as 3 a.m. being a daytime and L'Eau Boissée being your more classy version, more nighttime. L'Eau Boissée is a green fragrance. There's a lot of grass and mint in the opening. You've got lime. There is a vetiver dry down and a lot of woods, rum, and musk. And I think it's, even though rum and lime, I don't think is what you use to make a margarita. I think it's something else. But again, y'all can correct me. I'm not sure about that. But this has that even more of a cocktail fragrance to it than 3 a.m. And it's just a little more grown up, a little more classy. But those are two great fragrances to have in a pairing. And actually, even though it's not in the number one spot, it should have been, because of all of them on here, if you were just going to get two, this would probably be the pairing that I would choose, because I think both of them are really, really strong. But in the number one spot, we're going to go with, and it's mainly because of our evening offering, but the daytime Eau de Rochas from the House of Rochas. And this is Eau de Rochas, so the water of Rochas. And this is a bright citrus blast, fresh, clean, crisp lemon in the top. There is a little bit of a waxiness to it. It's the same kind of waxiness that I get from Ancre Noir, and a couple of the other fragrances. And I'm not sure what that note is. If you know what that kind of dusty, waxy note is in those, or it may just be something that I smell that other people don't, and that's fine too. But it's really good. It's really bright. It's really lemony. It's got a lot of notes: coriander, lily of the valley, freesia, jasmine, carnation, rose, violet, pine, artemisia, vetiver, oak moss, cedar, musk, amber. There's a lot going on here. This could be an evening offering, but when you see what the number one is, you'll understand why Eau de Rochas come in a little bit behind it, and that is this Dior Eau Sauvage EDT. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. Eau Sauvage EDT is one of the fragrances that I will never be able to not have in my cabinet. I've described it as the closest thing to the Garden of Eden that I can think of. It has the best citrus opening of any fragrance that I know of. The lemon, the bergamot, how natural it is, how high quality it smells. You don't have any of that waxiness that you get in Eau de Rochas. So it doesn't sound, Eau de Rochas to some people can smell like Lemon Pledge for a little while in the opening before it dries down. You don't get any of that in Eau Sauvage. From the very blast, it's this juicy bergamot and lemon. There's fruit. You're getting some herbal qualities there from basil and rosemary. In the mid, there is the best jasmine note that I know of in perfumery. It smells like wild honeysuckle. It's mixed with patchouli and orris and rose and carnation. It's a beautiful floral chord. And there, again, but it's done in a very masculine way to me. It does not come across feminine at all, whereas to me, L'Eau d'Issey does. And then in the base, oak moss and vetiver. You've got some musk and amber, but oak moss and vetiver as the stars there. It smells like a classic man's fougere fragrance with the best citrus and floral components that you can think of. So it's got that oak moss vetiver base. It's been updated so it's not as punchy as they were in the 80s, and some people don't like that about it. They think it's tamed down too much. I happen to love it, and it is my number one fragrance for wintering in the heat. Hope this was a help to you. Please like and share, or hit the notifications bell. Comment, tell me how stupid I am for thinking L'Eau d'Issey is a feminine smelling fragrance, and tell me how old-fashioned and out of date my thinking is. It seems to be what some people like to do. But anyways, not everybody has the same opinion. Not everybody smells the same things. And that's kind of what makes the world go round. It would be boring if everybody, thought the exact same way about everything. So until next time, I say frag on, frag fam. God bless you. We'll see you down the road. Thanks.